Are you ready, kids?
Aye, aye, Captain!
Oh!
I think that's one, effectively, that I'm good at, I think. It's just talking.
To be able to do better than everybody else, you have to work hard.
Every year, you leave thinking, man, I could have done this better, or I could have done that better.
And their speeches were incredible. I really don't know how I got second place.
I got a perfect score.
Monterey was a great experience.
And welcome back, ladies, gentlemen, and other distinguished members of the audience. You're listening to VibeZ, a radio show produced entirely by Spartan Sound Productions, Central Union High's very own production studio. I'm your host, Daniel Montoya, and this week's episode of VibeZ will focus on the accomplishments of the Migrant Debate and Speech programs here in the Imperial Valley, or Region 6, in accordance with our designation. For those of you who have been keeping up with VibeZ for a while, you may remember that we had our own Migrant Debate and Speech members on the show about a month ago. There they talked about the regional county-wide tournament and revealed there that they'd be moving up to the state level, which happened just last week. Region 6, that is to say the Imperial Valley, was represented by 6 students, 3 from Central, who formed the debate team, and 3 from Southwest. Our debate team ended up winning second place in the entire state of California, not just regional, the entirety of California. And 3 students from Southwest ended up winning second and first place in the category of speech. So, in honor of these achievements, we've not only brought in those 3 students from Central who formed the debate team and their coach, Mr. Emilio Davila, we've also brought in our 3 Southwest champions and a migrant program specialist, Ms. Leonor Felix, to talk about their experiences in Monterey and to finally deliver their speeches for your listening pleasure. Now, we are very proud to say that Region 6 completely cleaned up at the state levels, with all 4 separate grade levels being represented by students from the Imperial Valley. But unfortunately, due to scheduling issues, we were unable to bring you a discussion and speech from Brawley High School sophomore Violet Montes, who also placed in the top 3 in state. We promise that we will bring her on next week over the phone. It's going to be a great episode, and we hope you tag along. We'll first hand the mics over to our debate team so they may speak a bit on their trip to Monterey and some of the events that led up to it.
Good morning, my name is Jair Aguirre. I'm a student in Central Union High School, and I'm in the grade 11 junior.
Hi, my name is Alexis Zamorano, and I'm a sophomore in Central.
Good morning, my name is Yesenia Castañeda, and I'm a sophomore in Central.
And we're all part of the
debate program.
First, we did the regional competition, and we got first place. Who got second place? Southwest?
We competed against 2 other schools. Southwest placed second, and I'm pretty sure Brawley placed third.
Yeah, and that got us to state, which is Monterrey. And the experience over there, we took a flight to San Jose, and then we drove from San Jose to Monterrey.
Once we got there, we got settled in, and then we had an introductory dinner. So they told us how the competition day would work out, and then after that, we just kind of went into our own rooms and practiced before the big day.
Then the next day came, which was the big day, and we woke up at 7 in the morning. We got ready, and we started heading to the Monterrey high school, and we did 4 rounds. It was from 8 in the morning to
9. It was from 9 in the morning, and then we finished around 3.
4.
Yeah.
And we did 4 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
What? 5 or no? We did 4.
We did 4
because one was we didn't do one because
mm-hmm.
that was like our break.
But didn't we do 2, and then we had lunch, and then we had another one?
Yeah, we did.
We did 3, had lunch, and then we did our last one.
Yes. And that really set our score. We had no expectations. We because we were the only group of 3. They all had 5. so we really didn't have like.
We didn't think we would win or place.
Yeah. But yeah, overall I think we did good. We worked as a team. We collaborated together, and we created ideas together.
Mm-hmm.
So.
The first round, it was pretty nerve-wracking. I, as the opener, I kind of set the tone for how the debate went, and I didn't mess up, but my nerves got to me, so I think I delivered my opening a bit less than I thought I would. But overall, I think our first round went pretty good.
I was the rebuttal and the closer, and I was struggling. So I asked my teammates to collaborate with me, and they did. And I feel like our first round was the most messy one out of all of them, because that gave us the idea of what we needed to work on.
Yeah, and our last one, I'd say, was kind of not as good either, but the second one was pretty good. We were much better than the first one.
Our third round before lunch was probably one that just left us in shock. The team had already kind of planned everything they would say, so they didn't really care for our arguments or anything. They were just going along with what they already had planned, so we were just caught off guard.
So yeah, when we compete, we have to use our critical thinking and create the ideas right there. We just can't use something scripted, and the opposing team already has something scripted, and they just went along with the points they had instead of our points, which didn't make them be first or second place.
After the competition, we drove back to the hotel and we waited until the award ceremony, and during that time we were all just kind of recapping what had happened during the competitions. Mm-hmm. It was kind of nerve-wracking because we messed up, but we also had very good points.
And we were really nervous because we were the last ones to get announced, because it's always first the 6th grade, 2nd grade, 7th of speech, and then it's Spanish, and then it was the middle school, so we were the last ones. And we had no hopes. We were thinking we were going to lose, but we ended up getting second place.
Yeah, and our whole table, which was Region 6, that was our designated number. And the whole table had already trophies and everything. We were the only group without a trophy, so we were we can't put Region 6 down, you know?
Mm-hmm. So. It was pretty fun during the award ceremony because they started from 6th all the way to 12th grade, and then at the end it was debate. So when they started from 6th grade announcing for the speech winners, every single grade from Region 6 had gotten a trophy, whether it was 2nd or 1st. So by the time that we got to debate, we were kind of just nervous that we wouldn't place and we'd let them down. But we ended up winning, so our whole table just started cheering very loud. I think we were the loudest out of all of them.
We were the loudest in the table. But then after the ceremony, we all started hugging. We hugged our coach. Then we took pictures, and
we had a dance. We had a small dance.
Oh, that was the best dance ever. That was so fun.
The next day after the competition, we were very I would say kind of noticed or famous, because everybody was asking us for tips or how to win, or any sort of tips.
Guidance.
Guidance. The experience was really fun. I really liked the experience. I would like to go back someday, and just have.
We'll go back someday.
Yeah, we'll definitely go back. If not to compete, we're going back to Monterrey just to visit. It was really nice over there.
Me and Alexa are planning to join debate next year again. I don't know if Jasenia wants to do speech or debate.
And I'm still undecided.
We are going to win first place in state and in our region as well.
Yes, next year. So
we're determined.
Moving on from the debate team, I'd like to turn to the debate coach, Mr. Davila, not only for his thoughts on Monterrey, but his hopes for the future of migrant debate as a whole. Mr. Davila, please go on and introduce yourself.
So hi, good morning, Daniel. Like you mentioned, my name's Emilio Davila. I am a teacher here at Central, and I'm also the migrant debate coach.
Very well. We've brought you in here to talk about the events that led up to Monterrey, as well as what transpired at Monterrey. So, Take the stage.
So, I talked to you last time about the whole debate process here in the county. Luckily, we were fortunate enough to get first place here in the county at the regional competition, and that qualified us for state competition. And this past weekend, we traveled to Monterey, California. It was a very busy weekend for my students and for myself. We took off at 6 in the morning from El Centro and flew from San Diego to San Jose, drove down to Monterey while we were there for the weekend, and then came back on Sunday. Fortunately with second place. I mean, we would have loved to win first, but we brought back second place.
Very, very well. Could you tell us about what happened at Monterey?
So in Monterey, there was a series of events. The first day was pretty much just getting set up with the stay there in Monterey, getting our rooms. They had a welcome event. So the organizers, I forget their region number. Pretty much the state is divided up into regions.
And we are region number 6.
We're region 6. And Monterey County was in charge of hosting us, hosting the event for the whole state. And they did a great job with organization. The facilities were great for the students. They had a welcome event like around 5 in the evening when we got there. They had a dinner for the students. They had a couple of keynote speakers. The director for the migrant program at the state level was there. The director for the migrant program for Monterey County was there. So, it was good for the students to see people in leadership positions giving speeches, because they could see a lot of the things that we had been talking about, just about public speaking skills and the importance of stuff like that. So they were able to make that connection. At first, we went with a group of 10 students, so it was not only students from Central. There was the 3 students from Central, from the debate team, and then there was 7 other students. One from Meadows Elementary School, one from Hopeville, one from Brawley, and was it 2, 3? There's 3 from Southwest, and then one from Heber. And they did the speech. They competed in the speech competition. So it was one of the interesting things to point out is that, at first, all students were like on the van, on the plane ride, they were all just quiet. Once we got to the dinner, they were kind of quiet. But it was really awesome to see the way these kids came together as one, representing Imperial Valley, and became friends, just supported each other. So that was a pretty awesome experience to see, as just these kids coming from different schools, but during the trip just coming together as one and supporting each other and representing the Imperial Valley in a positive way.
I see. Were there any highlights, anything memorable from the trip?
The competition, it was intense. We had 4, so it was 5 rounds with a bye, and in the 4 rounds were very competitive. We prepare a lot, so we have a lot of practice. We usually practice after schools and usually some Saturdays, and we try to prepare for everything. But once you get to the event, there are certain scenarios that I guess we had not prepared for, but it was good to see that my students, see them step it up, right? Certain students that you thought maybe
weaker in certain areas.
In certain areas, you maybe you wouldn't place them in certain areas, and they stepped up and did what they needed to do for their team. That was pretty awesome. But I would say the highlight of the event for me was when they announced the winners, and it wasn't because we won second place. That wasn't what I was impressed about. It was more the reaction. When I saw the reaction that my students had, because they were just waiting for the announcement. And when they announced third place, when they announced second place, they mentioned our region. Man, if you would have been there just to see they jumped up, and I could see their faces, the way they were looking at each other. That's gonna stick with me for a very long time, man. It's just, I was happy for them, right? They work so hard. A lot of times you give up your weekends, or you give up your
after school
events, right? Maybe they didn't go to certain events, or maybe they even fell behind on some of their classes because they really wanted to be competitive at the state event. and for them to place second in the state of California for the Migrant Debate program, seeing their reaction and that they were happy, that made all my time worth it, and I was very happy for them. I still am.
I see. So what is next for Migrant Debate?
So, I mean, we talked about at the end, right? We talk about what we had achieved and maybe looked at the positives and the negatives, things we could have improved on. And every year we do the same, right? We do some constructive criticism, make plans for next year. Like I already have some notes on things that I can improve for next year. I've been doing this, I believe, for around 13 years, and I'm considering whether I want to go another year or whether this is the last one. But we'll see what happens.
Yep. And if you do go for next year, I suppose we're shooting for first place, aren't we?
Man, you're exactly right, Daniel. Every year, you leave thinking, man, I could have done this better, or I could have done that better. So you kind of want to give it that other year so you can improve, right? You can improve in those areas that you feel you can improve on. More practice, obviously, if I do it next year, more practice. And I would like to have 2 teams. So this year we took 1 team of 3. I want to take 2 regionals, 2 teams of 3 or 5.
I see.
Yeah.
Very, very well, Mr. Davila. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Daniel. And once again, would like to thank Spartan Sounds for giving the Migrant Debate program, the Migrant Speech and Debate program, this platform to showcase our students, because they work really hard. They, like I mentioned earlier, a lot of them are playing sports or they're in other activities. So, they do so much for this program that at the end of the day is going to represent their school, right? Central Union High School, and it has the potential to represent their county, which these students did. So thank you for this platform. I appreciate your time, and go Spartans.
Go Spartans. Next, we managed to bring in a few very special guests from Southwest High School, those being Edwin and Emmanuel Flores, who won 1st and 2nd place respectively in the state of California for Migrant Speech. Them, along with Migrant Program Specialist Leonor Felix, spoke about the state tournament and what it was like to attend it. Let's hand it over to them. Y'all can just introduce yourselves.
Hello, my name is Emmanuel Flores, as he said, and I am 1st place regionals in right here in Region 6 and 2nd place in the state of California.
Hello, my name is Leonor Felix. I'm the Migrant Program Specialist for the Central Union High School District.
Hello, my name is Edwin Flores. I got double first in regionals and 1st and 2nd in the state competition of speech and debate.
And we brought y'all here today not only to give, your speeches. We've also wanted you to talk about your experiences with the Migrant Speech program, as well as what happened in Monterey. So go ahead and take the stage.
Thank you. So I have been participating in the Speech and Debate program for almost, I believe it's 8 years now. So it's been with me all throughout my life. It's basically helped me with my upbringing. I guess it's helped me. I guess you could say I have more courage in what I say, and just be overall better speaker. Very good program. I like it very much. Shown from how many times I've been in it, and yeah, it's a very interesting program. I like the aspect where you can, Edwin here, kind of, with the speech and debate program, I was able to meet new people, and I helped Edwin get into it since he is my brother, and he was able to meet new people as well. So it's a very interesting program.
And since we're talking about Edwin, there's something interesting that I would like to share, and for him to expand on it. He came to us from Heber Elementary District, and I know when we met him as a freshman, we struggled somewhat to convince him to be part of the speech team. So he was having doubts, and yes, no. I believe Mr. Rosas, our speech coach, decided to give a friendly call to his mom, and then from there, it just happened. So can you tell us more about that?
So what happened was that I was in the car during the time that Mr. Rosas decided to give my mom a call. And when that happened, Mr. Rosas asked her if I would be able to participate in the program. And me being there, my mom said, "Oh, well, he's here, so you can talk with him." And that just pressured me more to join the program, which at the moment I wasn't very enthusiastic about it. Although I had done it years before, I knew that although it was difficult, there were things that came out of it. And because there was no state in the years before, I didn't believe that I would gain anything more out of it. However, once he told me that there would be a state that year, it gave me a little bit more excitement to be able to just work harder and try to beat everybody else. It gave me just a lot of more confidence.
Have like a goal.
Yeah, it gave me a goal to reach.
Me too.
Mm-hmm. And so how was it at Monterey?
In Monterey was a great experience. I got to meet a lot of different people from Region 6, which is the entire Imperial Valley, from people in Hopeville to people here in Central, although I am from Southwest. And we all got together and became a great group. And we worked hard. We pushed each other to be able to make it, to be able to do well in the hard competition. It was very competitive. There was many people that practiced for hours on end during the competition to be able to beat everybody else. And for us and my companions to be able to beat them, it was a great accomplishment.
Yeah. I like the experience very much. It was my second time going to state. My other time was when I was in 6th grade. I had also met other people from Region 6 and became friends with them. Unfortunately, I don't talk with them anymore because it was such a young age. But this time we were able to connect and relate to each other and our experiences in the program, as well as even then when we went to Monterey. We were able to meet people from different sections of California and competitors who had incredible stories, were very interesting, and their speeches were incredible. I really don't know how I got second place, but it was very interesting to see. Even if we are from different places, the migrant program is all about connecting people due to heritage and just all that. I was able to see that there were people that experienced similar things to me, similar to me, and it was very interesting. I liked it very much. The competitiveness as well was.
Yes, and one of the things that I've noticed and I've heard from our students is that the connection, the rapport they develop with other students, how interesting it is for them to know that there's other students in the same place I am, in the same situation. My parents work in agriculture. They, just like Marilyn had mentioned before, our first place winner at the state level for senior year, she moves every summer. So it's interesting for them to see students from all over California kind of on the same boat. And another thing that I've noticed as well is that once you participate at the region level, and of course, once we take first, we all unite as a region once we compete at the state level. Mm-hmm. One of the things that we notice as well is that once they go to the state level, it's like one family. Yes. Even though we're from different districts, yes, they all support each other. It's interesting how I heard, we have a group chat and we still communicate. Yes. And as we were walking into Central from Southwest, the first thing Emmanuel said, "Hey, is the debate team going to be there? I want to see them." So it's interesting how we could go. They really didn't know each other. Of course, the drive, the flight, mm-hmm. and now they're like besties. They're like super good friends. Yes. So I think taking that away, that great relationships that you guys are developing, is just a great experience. Mm-hmm. And of course, we're super proud of you both.
Thank you. Yes. So the shout out to the debate team of Region 6. I had only known one person there. Her name is Yesenia. I've known her since she went to Heber. She also participated in speech. And from then on, the drive, the plane ride, the waiting, and also at the hotel and everything, and just sitting together, we were able to communicate and talk about, I guess, the experience that speech had. And even then, we also practiced the day before the competition, and everybody was just so supportive, and everybody knew the type of stress and anxiety we were going through. It was exhilarating, extremely fun, but it was phenomenal to see how through the speech and debate tournament and all of the things that happened there, we were able to make new friends and just come together as a region.
So I want to mention the debate team, and I just want to talk about how they were only 3 people, and all the other teams had 5. And although they were only 3, because of the practice that they did, for example, one of the people that was in a room with me and my brother, his name was Yahir, and he stayed up until 1 in the morning just trying to find information that would help him the day after in the competition. And what really paid off, he was able to get second place with his team. And although they really had no hope, like they themselves were saying that, oh no, we did bad. But then in the moment when they called Region 6 for second place, they were screaming, crying, everything was the best. It was the best experience ever. Everybody was happy. And we all had our expectations low, but they were brought all the way back up.
And then just one more thing that maybe we should also emphasize is how, just real briefly, how did you guys prepare mentally for the tournament?
Okay, so it was incredible. For this whole year, I was extremely busy. It's junior year. It's the year of stress, tests, all this AP tests and everything. But I had to, I guess, the month before do my speech, but 2 weeks before I had to learn it and everything. So I grinded. I worked all of my cells to their complete, you could say, limit. And through the support of my coach, him helping me Saturdays of going to school and help him practices and everything, as well as my mom and of course Miss Felix, thank you, of just absolute going to the limits. And when the regionals paid off and we got double first places, me and my brother, we were super happy that everything paid off. And then my coach said, okay, time for state. So we're like, yes, we need to practice more.
And for me, to be able to prepare for this competition, it was just lots of time and effort of practicing, of working, and to just be able to memorize my speech. Although I wasn't able to do it completely, and at the moment I have lost some of the memory of my speech already, it was something that you have to work hard for to be able to accomplish something, to be able to do good, to be able to do better than everybody else. You have to work hard. It's not something that comes easy. And if for us, for Southwest, we got our topics for our speeches a little late, so we had to rush a little more than the competition to be able to do well. And it was just a lot harder. However, we were still able to accomplish a lot.
Yeah.
And one of the best things is to actually sit in the middle of the 2 amazing brothers who we're hoping that next year we continue to do well. And we're just so proud of you both.
Thank you.
And now for Edwin Flores to deliver the speech that won first place in the state of California. Go ahead, Edwin.
Hello, my name is Edwin Flores. I am from Southwest High School and I am representing Region 6. And my speech is technology making us more connected or isolated? In the modern era, we have grown fond of using our devices all day and night. However, what has this done to our social lives? Without a doubt, it is making us more isolated. And to prove this, I have 3 reasons that I believe will make you go to my side of this conversation. 1. It takes time away from socializing with our family. 2. It becomes an addiction that takes up most of our time. And 3. It can sometimes turn into mental health problems that will make us more lonely. I have seen the problems that social media has through many situations online. Some things that happen with influencers and people online is that they have become dependent on the praise that their audience gives them. And when they lose it, the mental health problems start. Another situation is that people spend lots of times on their screens, even when they're talking with people. And even I am sometimes guilty of this. Although many people may disagree with my view, I believe technology is making us more isolated. When there are family reunions or times when families come together, what is something you often see? People are on their phones. Technology is taking time away from socializing with family, and everybody is guilty of this. According to teenvogue.com, it states, in a consumer mobility report published by the Bank of America, 71% of millennials admitted to using their phones to avoid talking to people at parties. This evidence reveals to us how often people are on their phones to avoid social situations. And just imagine how much this happens with families and how many conversations are stopped because of technology. According to NBCnews.com, it states, a large proportion of all teens, around 44%, say they get frustrated with their friends for being on their phones so much when they're hanging out together. This demonstrates that technology is affecting people for worse, and they'd rather be on their devices than socializing and living. The addiction to technology is so common, it's scary. More and more people are scrolling mindlessly on websites such as TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Which one is your favorite? The website explodingtopics.com states, the average American spends 7 hours and 4 minutes looking at their screens each day. This confirms that most people are spending precious time on their devices and not using them to socialize, but instead to avoid people. Another website, crossrivertherapy.com, states, South Africans spend 10 hours and 46 minutes on their screens per day. This shows how this is a worldwide problem. To end my reasoning, people are starting to develop mental health problems because of technology. Do you know about Anthony Bourdain? He was an extremely famous TV show host with 2.3 million friends. However, he still decided to commit suicide. In his final notes before dying, he wrote, I am lonely and living in constant uncertainty. This just shows how even with the best job in the world, the best life in the world, and everyone watching you, technology can still mess your life up. Another piece of evidence from helpguide.org states, multiple studies have found a strong link between heavy technology use and an increased risk for depression, anxiety, loneliness, self-harm, and even suicidal thoughts. This demonstrates the multitude of diseases that are caused by technology and social media. In conclusion, technology is making people more and more isolated rather than connected, as it was promised by the creator of Facebook. Although people can argue that technology helps to connect people through social media, it is quite the opposite, as technology is creating higher rates of mental illnesses, causing addictions that take time away from socializing, and finally, it is making our younger generation not socialize as much with their family due to being on their devices. Thank you.
And now we'll give the floor to Emmanuel Flores so that he may deliver his speech that was the best in the region and one of the best in the state.
Hello, my name is Emmanuel Flores. I am a Southwest attendee, and I will be representing Region 6, talking about if humans are primarily driven by self-interest. Everybody is driven by self-interest. Interactions between other humans are all based on self-interest. It is the foundation of human nature and will forever be so. But what is self-interest? Self-interest is defined as a personal interest or advantage when pursued without regard for others. Our current era of technology and all of these advancements in the world can all be attributed to talent, hard work, and self-interest to ultimately back these two other extremely important factors. Everything can be said to be caused by the selfishness of humans. Humans are driven by self-interest. Humans are driven by self-interest because of many psychological factors to be able to survive and have accommodations and due to societal norms. First off, humans are mainly driven by self-interest because of psychological factors. Being selfish is not a bad thing. After all, that is what keeps us alive. Psychological egoism states that humans are psychologically as well as neurologically connected or bonded with egoism and selfishness. the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy states, psychological egoism is supported by a frequent observation of self-interested behavior. Apparently, altruistic actions are often revealed to be self-interested, and we typically motivate people by appealing to their self-interest. Respectively, for example, the Jehovah's Witnesses who knock on your door on 7 a.m. on a Sunday to bring the message of salvation do this to reach salvation themselves. That is their self-interest. No offense to our witnesses, of course. Adam Smith, a philosopher and a Scottish economist, stated, "Every man is no doubt, by nature, first and principally recommended to his own care." Another reason as to why humans are driven by self-interest is due to wanting to survive and having accommodations. For example, Henry Ford. He wanted to make the Model T car affordable for everybody, so he invented the line assembly. He lowered the price of cars dramatically. Let me ask you, do you like your car? Well, you should thank Henry Ford. The last reason why humans are driven by self-interest and selfishness is due to the social norms and standards of our society today. The economics of our society contributes to the selfishness of people in our world and how it works. For example, capitalism. Capitalism was created due to the self-interest of people and has driven the people of the US to live their lives how they mostly want to live it. According to the Princeton University Press, self-interest drives capitalism. Capitalism's friends and foes agree on this, even if they agree on nothing else. Look at all the commodities we can afford. Cell phones, TVs, computers, all of this technology. However, many people may disagree with me and state that many figures in history have been selfless and helped strangers for nothing at all. Although they do have a point, even one of the most appreciated and loved figures in history can also be said to be selfish. Mother Teresa, an extremely blessed and miracle-inducing woman, was a selfish person. Even though she did many things for people, she did these things for her own self-interest, even while helping them. No offense, times two. To conclude, humans are selfish creatures whose sole purpose is to help themselves due to many factors of our world and in our bodies as well. Humans are driven by self-interest because of many psychological factors to be able to have a good well-being and survive, and also due to societal norms. Seeing is believing, is what I like to say. So if this argument did not convince you, look back at your life and try to think of people or you and how many acts have been done out of the selflessness of your heart compared to the selfishness. I bet that ratio would be quite unequal. Thank you.
And now for the last, but certainly not the least, of our Southwest champions, we have Marilyn Zavala, both to talk about attending the tournament in Monterey and to deliver her first place speech. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Marilyn.
Hello, my name is Marilyn Zavala, and I am a senior from Southwest High School.
Okay, we've brought you in here to not only give your speech that won the first place at the state championships, we've also brought you in to talk about your experiences with Migrant Speech, where it began, and sort of the experiences leading up to the competition at Monterey.
Okay, perfect. I've been a part of the migrant program for as long as I could remember because my mom is an agriculture worker and she travels a lot up in the northern regions of California. But I didn't join the speech and debate program until I was in 7th grade. And I'm a competitive person, and that year I remember I took 2nd for region. And I was super upset, but I was like, okay, I'll continue. And then every year after that, I'm now in my 12th year of high school, I won 1st place. And I think speech and debate for the migrant program especially is such an amazing program, especially because a lot of us are, like Mexican and with accents, and there's a lot of stigma that surrounds agricultural workers and our level of education, and I feel like this program really sets breaks those stereotypes and those boundaries and really enforces that us agricultural workers and families of those, we really do strive for higher education and we will make it out in the big leagues. So that's why I've always put my hardest effort here, not only to make my mom proud, but to make all the agriculture people y todos los campesinos out there know that being part of the migrant program and working in the agriculture field is not something you should be ashamed of, but something you should be proud of and honored. Not everyone can wake up in the early mornings of the day and pick out vegetables for hours in the heat and in the cold and getting frostbite and getting sunburn. So that's something I'm really proud of. And yeah, this program really focuses on that, I guess. And well, when I competed here in the region competition, I was really nervous because I heard that there was going to be really good competition. So when I won, I was really shocked. I was so surprised. But then we went to the state competition, to the state competition in Monterey, and there were so many regions. And well, we all went as a team, and we were all from different schools. So I thought that was going to be kind of uncomfortable or a little weird because we're not all from the same school. But we all felt like family, and we were all tied together by, the need to represent where we come from and represent the migrant program effectively and in a good light. And yeah, I ended up winning my extemporaneous and my prepared speech. For the extemporaneous part, you were given 2 topics there, like out of nowhere, and you only had 10 minutes to write it. And for that, I honestly just talked until I saw the time ran out. So I think that's one, like, effectively that I'm good at, I think. It's just talking.
Improvisation.
Yeah. And then for my prepared speech, well, I had been focused. I used the same 2 speeches that I used here in my regional competition, but I just, like, memorized it more, and I worked more on my body language and my eye contact. So I feel like that's some of the pointers that made me get a really good score. I got a perfect score for my prepared speeches and the competition for state, and I was like 3 points away from perfect score in the extemporaneous part. But yeah, it was a really good experience, and I really encourage anyone who's listening, especially who has a fear of public speaking, to try any like sort of public speaking programs that you have available to you. You really get over that fear, and you meet such new people that are amazing and that you always carry with you, and who share the same drive to succeed in life. So yeah.
All right, very, very good. And now for the speech you've all been waiting for. Go ahead and take the stage.
Okay. So the topic that I chose for my first prepared speech was, does artificial intelligence pose more harm than good? Okay. For as long as humanity has existed, there has always been a curiosity that lingers amongst men, one that prompts progression to be made. Now, in our nation's relentless quest and pursuit of this progress, humanity has actually birthed the pillar of technological advancements of the 21st century, and that is the creation of artificial intelligence, AI. AI refers to the simulation or replication of human intelligence in machines or software. Now, on the surface, such an invention might seem like a cause for celebration. However, this foolish thinking truly exposes how reliant our society has become with the usage of technology, for AI actually poses a great plethora of threats to our human algorithm. Artificial intelligence presents more harm than good to our society because of potential job displacement, the erosion of human skills, and the environmental impact it would have on our climate. To start off, job displacement is best defined as the involuntary job loss due to an economic or social factor. AI technologies excel at performing routine tasks more so than us humans because we are not robots. This has actually led to the automation of jobs across various industries. According to the article AI Statistics, the impact of employment in 2024, it is predicted that AI could replace up to 800 million jobs by 2030. 2030 is just 6 years from now. With close to 1 billion jobs being replaced, there has never been such high unemployment rate, not even during the Great Depression. As inflation continues to grow while the unemployment rises, this means the majority of U.S. citizens will not be able to adapt to the continuous high cost of living, leading to poverty and homelessness. This vividly demonstrates that there is no great threat of AI and there is no potential job displacement. It is here and now. With the capitalization of artificial intelligence, careers that us humans are more than capable of doing are being eliminated by these careers and these technologies. It is important to note that not all progression is beneficial to us, because certainly millions of unemployed people is not a positive trait of AI. Subsequently, as reliance on AI increases, there is a great risk of diminishing certain human skills, such as critical thinking. According to an article released by Stanford titled AI Over-Reliance is a Problem, it reads, when the usage and dependency of AI are increased, this will automatically limit the human's brain thinking capacity. This proves that when individuals rely heavily on AI-generated decisions without questioning or understanding the underlying process, there is a great risk of diminishing critical thinking. If people blindly follow AI suggestions without engaging in their own independent analysis or thought process, they will become less proficient at evaluating information and making informed decisions on their own. In addition, training sophisticated AI models takes up a significant amount of computer power, which contributes to increased energy consumption. Cue global warming. Correspondingly, the article The Green Dilemma states, the rising use of AI in agriculture could result to the overuse of pesticides and fertilizers, contaminating the soil, water, and harming biodiversity. This piece of evidence effectively demonstrates just one of the many ways in which AI is creating a harmful environmental impact. Global warming is a real-world issue caused by our past mistakes. We have since then learned of ways in which we can impede and stop the process of global warming. So why aggravate and add to our climate's decay by mass-producing this tool when we have lived successfully without AI for years? We did not need it in the past, we do not need it now. On the other hand, some may argue that AI has more positives than negatives, and that AI's contribution to society is for the well-being and will continue with constant progress. However, in response to that, I say that you cannot simply overlook all the negative impacts of AI in favor of the positive. It is key to remain well-informed, and the truth is that yes, if we were responsibly using AI, it would be much easier to remain blind to the destructive ways of AI. But we aren't using and distributing this innovation cautiously, which is why in turn it leads to why, at this current moment, artificial intelligence is more harmful than not. To finalize, the recent creation of AI has done more harm to our society and communities than good because of its role in unemployment, the unfavorable traits it is creating, and the leading role it has in global warming. The responsible development of AI technologies have the potential to bring about substantial benefits, but until we find ways to counter all the negative effects, we must stray away from it. We must also advocate for regulations that prioritize the protection of privacy and the human rights that are being extorted by AI. Because at the end of the day, a human life is worth however many times more than how many gigabytes make up AI. Thank you.
Very, very well said. We here at Valley Vibes commend you for your efforts and thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And before we finally close out this episode of Valley Vibes, I'd like to once again commend the efforts of the Migrant Debate and Speech programs here in the Valley for their part in representing us outside of our little slice of paradise. We'd also like to remind the audience that these episodes, along with so many more student-made audio projects, are uploaded to the Spartan Sound Productions YouTube channel, which can be found at Spartan Sound Productions on YouTube.com. That is at Spartan Sound Productions on YouTube.com. Thanks for listening. I've been Daniel Montoya, and I'm signing off till Sunday, 9 a.m. next week, when we come back with another episode of Valley Vibes.
This program was produced and brought to you by Spartan Sound Productions. Special thanks to our guests, Mr. Emilio Davila, Ms. Leonor Felix, and student competitors Yahya Aguirre, Alexa Zamorano, Yesenia Castañeda, Edwin Flores, Emmanuel Flores, and Marilyn Zamorano. We'd also like to recognize our production team, Daniel Montoya and Soren Dorantes, Dr. Thomas Tacky, creator and director of Spartan Sound Productions, the administration of Central Union High School and the Central Union High School District, and Mr. Javier Fimbres and Power 98 for hosting us, and to you, the listeners.